Our Computex 2025 coverage is made possible by Corsair, Asus, Phanteks, G-Skill, Lee, Seasonic, Thermal Grizzly, Trix, Team Group, Antec, Pro Gamers Group, InWin, BitsPower, Be Quiet, Cable Mod, and Cougar.
Welcome back, guys. It is Computex Day 3. I'm Stuart from GGF, and we are at the Cougar booth. Now, there's quite a bit going on here. It's quite noisy, so I do apologize if it is hard to hear. So we have some really interesting cases to look at, and then we're going to look at some chairs, which I think are pretty cool as well. So let's jump in. Starting off over here, this is the Cougar OMNYX. Now, I've actually been lucky enough to have been sent both of these colors for review already. I've nearly wrapped up my review, so I could probably talk about this case for a couple of hours, but I only have a few minutes. In this case, we'll be launching early June. So what I'm going to do first off, like I always do, is I'll leave the side panels on, but I will take that off just to eliminate any glare. Now notice I grabbed one of the ends first. That's how you get into this case. Now I would not have known that before, but because I got this to review, by taking one of the ends off, it does reveal access to the tempered glass. So we take this off like this, and you might be wondering, well, this looks like a little bit of a different layout than what you're used to seeing. That's because there is real no front and back to this case. So what Cougar are trying to convey or sort of get around with this chassis is you can go on the left side of your desk like this. So if this was pushed more to the left, you can do it on the right side of your desk, or you can do it straight at the back. Now, I'm going to have to sort of briefly summarize everything that this case can do. So they've added a lot of cable routing channels. So if you have your case on the left, you can run cables out the back end here. I'll get some B-roll of this. If you have it on the right side of your desk, you can remove the cable management guides and put it on this side, and you can run the cables out the back side, because remember, this will be switched around. And there's also a large cable routing channel at the very back, and that's got a cover, so it looks really clean. You won't see any other cables. And probably the main thing you're wondering is, well, the motherboard is all shooting straight down. So motherboard I/O, GPU I/O is straight down, and that's how they can get away from this sort of no front to back chassis, because the back normally is at the bottom. Now, another cool thing, if you've got your chassis like this on this side of the desk, got your monitor on this side, your I/O can be here, but when you spin this around to the other side, this is more going to be towards the other side. So what you can do is you can take this out like this. You can slide this along. You can put that back in like that. So now when this is on the other side of your desk, that is more towards your mouse, but you can also leave it at the back, because you might not want your cables to be from your keyboard and then run around to the front. You can leave it towards the back. Some other things they've done, there is a heap of I/O on the front here. 4 USB, 2 Type-C, the audio combo port. Now your motherboard might not have dual Type-C or even dual of the USB 3.0. So what they've done is they've split up how these connect to your motherboard. So 2 of the Type A and 1 of the Type C goes to the conventional front I/O ports on the motherboard. Then the 2 of the remaining Type A and the other Type C actually plug directly into the normal rear I/O on the motherboard. So in a normal case, you couldn't do that, because you'd have to go out the back and stick it in your motherboard like you would normally, and that would just be messy. So that's how they can get around running this much I/O. The only thing is you're going to be losing the 2 USB and 1 of the Type-C on the back of your motherboard, but normally you do have plenty of those, and if you don't want to use that, you just don't have to plug all of them in. Then you've got RGB control for these built-in fans. It does come with the 4 160mm RGB fans. They have a RGB hub in the back. This button here isn't a reset button. This actually controls the RGB. I can probably do this now. There we go. So they have hooked it up. It's all synced in. So that RGB hub on the back is also a fan hub. It does 6 ports of RGB and PWM for the fans. So you can control all that. You can also offload the fans and the RGB control directly to your motherboard. Now, I'm pretty much just basically going through my whole review right here. I will be doing a sick custom loop build. I'll be also doing a normal, more sort of realistic all-in-one cooled build in the black model. They do have the black one over here, which is good that they seem to be having on all their cases. They do a black and a white model, which I always think is good. And then I'll get some shots around the back. It does have BTF support. It has those 2 160s on either side. You might be running, well, I don't want to use 160mm fans. They do give you some extra trays to convert these down from 160 to 140 to 120. So if you want to do a custom loop, you can run 280, 240 radiator, and then the top here runs a nice 360, and then you run the cooling for the tubing and the all-in-one cooler down here. And this is their new all-in-one cooler here with the screen as well. So plenty of thought has gone into this chassis. You might be running, what are these over here? You can't really see one of the front edges of the case, but there are 3 aesthetic panels on the OMNYX. You got the top, you got the, I would say the left side, and you have the right side. Now all of these panels can clip on and off. like this. They just clip on. Same with the ones either side. So what they're thinking about doing is bringing out a lot of different panels. So it may come with, say, the stock white one. They haven't decided on which one. And you can purchase like the brushed aluminum. You can get this tempered glass one. You can even get the wood grain one. Or what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a play around with different types of vinyl wrap. I'm going to vinyl wrap the side ones. If you are an end user, you probably only need to do each end because you may not see the top. This one over here, if I can take this one off, oops, I nearly broke the side panel. This one over here is a fabric one, and I really think that gives it a bit of a niche feel, and it just feels really nice. And then you can put that on the either side, but the top one is a little bit smaller. So if you do want to do the top and both sides, you'll probably need to do the 3. But if you want to do one side, the side ones will fit on either end, and then the top one is just a little bit smaller. But overall, this is the OMNYX. I did talk a lot about this, and retail price for this is looking at about $139 US. Over here we have the CFV235. This stands for Central Floating Ventilation, and you might be wondering what is going on here. It's kind of died down a little bit because there is dry ice in here, but before it was really ramped up, and it shows you just how much of this air is being pulled through this gap here. So I'll take this side panel off so we can see in a bit better. I'll put this over here. So there's a few areas in this chassis that Cougar has done to just do something a little bit different to help air ventilation. So what they've done is that they've segregated the PSU to the rest of the chassis. PSU goes down here, and then there is a nice little magnetic filter that goes over the top. And then we have the 3 fans in there. So basically you have your gap here, and then it just sucks air straight through. I really do like this design. It just gives you that floating sort of podium style. We'll get some shots around the back because you might be running, well, how do you actually route your cables from the PSU up into the rest of your chassis? You might be thinking, well, is there going to be room for cables? But it looks exactly the same as a traditional case from the back. So if you're looking at it from the back, you won't even know it actually has this design. In terms of structural integrity, it is super, super strong because it is quite thick of how much of the case is still intact. From a side-on view, it looks like there isn't that much, but there is quite a lot. More inside, it does have the back, the motherboard support, 360 down the bottom, and then we had 240 on the side, and then 360 along the top. Now this may be a lot more affordable than you think. This black model comes in at $99 US, so that'll be black and white. Then moving on to this one's a little bit more. This one is $129 US. So this one is called the Mesh. Obviously this one is the non-mesh, because what this one does, it replaces the front tempered glass with mesh. Now you might be wondering, well, why is mesh more expensive? That's because this top one has a complete built-in mesh panel with 2 RGB fans included. So these are 160mm pre-installed ARGB fans, and they have little pogo pins that connect us together. So you can just see straight in there your whole chassis like this, and I'll put this back in. And then bam, straight back together. So that's why the price increases a little bit more, because you are getting those 2 included fans. You're getting the engineering behind how this removes and goes together. Apart from that, everything else is exactly the same, and that'll be black and white as well. So the reason why they come out with the 2 different models is they get a lot of feedback that not everyone wants the sort of the fish tank tempered glass on both sides. They do like the extra airflow you do get on the front as well. Now there's actually a 3rd model of the CFV235. As you can see, it's similar to the original one that has the tempered glass on the front and the side, but down the bottom we now get tempered glass down here. And we have a built-in screen. So this will of course work with the Cougar software, the same software they use with the all-in-one cooler. I'll get some shots on the PC here that's running it. You can go through components, so if you've got their all-in-one cooler, you can customize that. And then when you go down to screen, they have a lot of predefined set themes you can do, and you can also create your own. So I might have a play around with that, and while I'm talking about this one, I will overlay that on the screen, try and create a custom sensor panel, because I know all about those, and they can be very, very tedious. So if this software can help you with that by drag and drop, that'll make it much, much easier for the consumer. So inside, the internal chassis is exactly the same. Back and neck support, 360 on the bottom, 240 on the side, and then 360 on the top as well. These 2 here are the AIRFACE Eco, this white one, and then we have the AIRFACE Flow. Now the main differences is the front panel on both of these are different. All the internal features are exactly the same. Now, this one from Cougar is already out. You may have seen this one. It's got a bit of that Apple design on the front now. The engineering behind this is because the holes are larger, on the outside as they are in the inside. They taper in. It does help with that airflow. It creates a bit of a static pressure and it helps with cooling performance. Now, both of these have interchangeable I/O. On this one, the I/O is down the bottom on the side. It can be moved up the top and then vice versa. This one's already on here, but it can be installed down the bottom on the side. Now, the reason why they came out with the AIRFACE Flow is the front is full ventilated mesh. Not everyone likes this aesthetic, so that's why they went with this option here. Just gives you something a little bit different. We have the fan filter here that comes out on both of these, and then inside we have no back connect motherboard support because this case is quite affordable. And then we have your two, let me check the fans on this one. Doesn't say, but this one looks like two 180mm fans. So those two previous ones I mentioned are two 160s. This is two 180s in both of these. And then it looks like we have 360 on the top. They actually don't mention any of that on the spec cards. And then your PSU goes down the bottom. And the price on the AIRFACE Flow is $84 US. So you probably noticed that we're now starting to move down to Cougar's more affordable cases. I don't normally cover those, but Cougar has done a really good job at bringing the affordable cases into the market. So we'll move around and their cases just get more affordable and more affordable as we go. So on this side now, we have some very affordable cases from Cougar. We have the AIRFACE 180 and then the AIRFACE Pure Pro. Now, this one here being 180 in the name, it comes with dual 180mm ARGB fans, and they are both in the front. I like that little protruding bit on there. It just gives it a nice little touch. I can remove this. It's held in by magnets, and it just pops out. Now, you're looking at $59 US for this case with those two pre-installed fans. You get the rear, you just don't get the two 120s on top of the PSU cover. I wouldn't expect you to get too much because what can you do with $59 US? So you got 240 all-in-one cooler support at the top, the bottom, two 120s on top of that PSU shroud, and they've actually moved the PSU in this one more towards the back panel, and it gives you a little bit better air intake down the bottom, and then it comes in the black and the white. Also has back connect support because that is a Aura Stealth. I've used that before. Pretty crazy how $59 US you get back connect motherboard support. Now moving down, I/O's on the top is on this one as well. No modular I/O because there's only so much you can do with basically $60. Same one here in black. Moving down to this one. Now this one is the AIRFACE Pure Pro. Super tiny little system. They said this is probably as small as they can go within this budget for an ATX motherboard. I'll see if I can take this side panel off. Everything clips in. All of these are toolless, just like that. They don't have any other hardware in here, so it's going to be hard to sort of speculate. Three 120mm fans. It looks like you could do two 140s. You wouldn't be able to do three, but you can definitely do two. I can see there's plenty of options for more fans. Along the top as well, I can take that off. It's got room for, I would say, a 280 and a 240, and then we don't have back connect motherboard support because this case is $49 US, and it does come with included three fans there and the single 120mm. So $49 US, you are getting this case, and I think it actually looks pretty smart. If I put this side panel back on, looks nice and clean. Your front I/O there, USB-C to Type A, and let me know what you think about having the orange highlighted for the USB ports. Of course, for those Type A, Cougar has their orange logo. Let me know if you think they should just be white or they should just be black on the black model. Some cases I've seen around Computex, they're blue. I've never really liked the blue, but let me know what you think of orange for the Cougar logo. Lastly, before we wrap this Cougar video up, we are going to look at some chairs. Cougar have been doing chairs for quite a while now. Over here, we have a different style of chair, pretty much like a one-person couch or something. This is the Overlord and the Overlord Neo. So this one is based on the Japanese cartoon One Piece. Apparently that's very, very popular. A heap of seasons with that cartoon series. I won't really cover that one because this one's already out. That's just the One Piece design on it. But this one is the Overlord Neo. It's kind of like, I don't know, like those old school armchairs. You can see it rocking back. I will actually attempt to get up on there. It's towards the end of the day, so I apologize if I do fall asleep. So basically, not much to this. It's not an ergonomic chair, anything like that. What I can do is I can get back, switch my arm around. There is a lever. I do have quite a few people filming me, so it does seem a bit weird. And then I can rock back. I don't want to fall off like this. Stretch it out so the back does go down with you, and that's it. So pretty much, maybe you could use this for consoles. I probably wouldn't use it for, I'm going to try and get it. Probably wouldn't use this PC. It's probably not going to be the best for you. I got to kick this closed. There we go. I didn't want to break it. So that's basically how this chair works. The material is like a suede leather material, but it's not. So it's going to be easy to maintain, especially when you get like those suede leather materials. They do cost more and they are very, very hard to maintain over time. Price on this one, you're looking at $329 US. Now, this one here is pretty interesting. It's got some cool features. I just thought it was, standard, typical gaming chair, but it's not. This is the Defensor S. So we'll get in a spot that we can see. Now, whenever I control these chairs with one arm, it's always best to sit on them like this. First off, I want to show you with the armrests. Let's put this down. So one thing I can do, they get a lot of feedback that people don't want to have armrests on a gaming chair, or this is more sort of a semi-ergonomic chair, is they don't want, users don't want the armrest. So a lot of times you have to actually remove it from the base here, unbolt it. But what they've done here, you can push this lever, push it down, rock it back. So now that has completely removed the armrest. Same on this one, and that is out of the way. So now, if you don't want the armrest, I do like armrests, but some people who don't like them, push it down and then back it comes. Same with this one, push it down and back it comes. Now, another thing with this, these are included. The armrest pads are just your standard sort of squishy material, but they do come with these covers included, and that just gives it a completely different texture. Like on this one here, it just feels a little bit nicer and it has a cushion built in. Now, this last thing I want to showcase, so that actually goes way down further than what it did before. Now, one interesting area, I'm just going to show you how this works here. I just thought this back was completely flush. If I pull this lever here, it pushes this straight out. Now, I haven't used a chair like this before. I've used the ones where you lean back and it's actually got the lumbar support built into the back. You turn the dial and it normally comes in and out about an inch or so to your back. So what I can do is to reset this, I can push my back all the way in, get it flat. Now, obviously, this might look a bit weird. Sitting flat like this is not right because I can feel I am actually sitting on my stomach, so that's not right. So what you want to do is kind of sit up straight, let this push your back out a bit, and that's how it feels about right. I have the right posture, I'm not sitting on my stomach, and now if I move it out of the way, you can see how much that is actually protruded out. So that is right for me. Everyone's going to be different, but now I can see that is the best lumbar support for me. So pretty interesting overall. This has the same material as what I just covered. It's that type of leather material that is not, it's going to be easy to maintain. And then for the back here, this is just magnetic. I think a lot of brands are doing this now. Better than running those straps like we used to. Makes it much cleaner, easier to use. But then for this one, it's the same price as the Overlord Neo we just looked at. It is $329 US as well. So overall, I think that's a pretty good price for this chair. Alrighty guys, that is it for Computex Day 3 at the Cougar booth. We looked at those new cases, very interesting stuff they have coming. Those very affordable ones are pretty cool as well. And then we looked at these cool chairs as well. But anyway, like always, thanks for watching. I want to thank Cougar for supporting this. I am absolutely exhausted. I'm going to take a nap and we'll see you in the next one. Just be like,